Also, can you change the game, Akuma? Or the category? Alright, let's talk about the mirror match. Alright, so I know some people hate the mirror match, right? Like they're like, oh, I don't want to fight my own character. Like my buddy Forrest. Yo, my man Foolishness with the 32. Remember when Teabag Town used to beg you for a bunch of first of ones? Dude, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Alright, so let's talk about the mirror match, right? Like, I bring this up because some people hate the mirror match. Like, my buddy Forrest hates the Leo mirror match. He said he's considering picking up Axel just for the mirror match, right? But on the other hand, the mirror match is so important because you get someone's different perspective, right, on the character and their approach, right? You learn something new when you play somebody else, right, and their different style and their approach to the character. You learn something completely different, right? Like I learned when I played Deb and she kicked my ass. I learned a lot from playing Deb. I learned so much, right? Like how to space yourself, what conversions to do, right? You know, just go straight into clean DP every chance you get, right? Like, there's just so much you learn. You're like, oh man, why didn't I do this? That's smart. I'm stupid. I should be doing this instead, you know? So the mirror match is hella important. Even if you don't like it, sometimes it's just good to put yourself in that situation. Because you're only one person, so your knowledge of the character can be limited, right? You think you can know. Listen, you think you know everything, but you don't. There's been times where back in Marvel 3, I was like, man, I know everything about Dante. And then I saw this reset or something. I was like, that was tight. Why did I not think of that? Stole it. How you in a relationship is still a thought. Make it make sense, dude. It'd be like that. Or like, you know, when you see somebody else, right, like playing the character, you don't even have to play them in a mirror match. Sometimes you just pick things up by watching people play. That Goku Black logic. Yeah, hopefully Goku Black gets buffed in the new patch. Anyways, like I was saying, it's so important to play in the mirror match because you can learn so much, right, that you didn't know. Even though, you know, this nerd be streaming, yes. Even though you may not like it, you'll definitely pick up some new habits, right? Some new tricks, you know, gimmicks, whatever you want to call it, right? The new setups, right? Proper ways to bait bursts, right? You'll get baited, you'll be like, that was genius. Why didn't I do that? Thought I got straight today. Any good players? Diaphone and Daru? Daru Ino? What's the Japanese player's name? The dude who made the like 6-man comeback in that Japanese exhibition? Daru Ino, I think. Your viewers keep finding me on Overwatch? Oh no. But yeah, chat. Even if you hate the mirror match, sometimes you just gotta go through it. Because there's a lot you can learn from how somebody else plays a character. Even if it's different than you, right? Even though you're like, oh man, I hate the way they play. That doesn't mean you can't pick up some nice clean habits from them. Oh, he's Korean? My bad. I thought he was Japanese. Because I thought it was just an all Japanese exhibition. I haven't played Guilty Gear in years because both my mains aren't in anymore. Oh, who is your main, dude? Your mains. Like, also when I played Punk, I learned to like, it's, you know, this conversion, right? I didn't know you could do this until like I played Punk and he did it to me and I was like, that's sick. That's cheap as hell. So there's a lot of new stuff you learn. Oh, I gotta be closer. I gotta be like this close. Oh, too far. When is Johnny getting in? Never, dude. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Okay, so recently on my stream, I was talking about the mirror match, right? And there's these tweets that sparked this whole conversation, right? Unfortunately, I still could not find the main tweet, but here we have Richard Wins basically making fun of the main tweet, right? Like, the main reason people don't like the mirror match is because it's the match where their ego is hurt the most when losing, but no one will admit this. False. That is false. That is very false. You're stupid if you think this way, right? Because, like, the mirror match is probably one of the best things you could do for yourself because of habits you could pick up and just, like, new techniques and stuff, like I was saying on my stream the other day. I agree. Mirror matches are tight, right? Yeah, you know, there's we even have input from, like, yeah, there's a bunch of inputs, right? Like, a bunch of people quote tweeted this, a bunch of people replied, right? Blah 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 and all that stuff. You know, I sometimes don't like the mirror match in some games, but I'll still play it to learn, right? Even if you don't like it, it's still good to play because it's good to learn. But sometimes it could suck. Like in Marvel 3, when I played Zero May Cry versus Zero May Cry, I didn't like it, but I always learned something, right? It was an annoying matchup because, you know, Zero, Dante, it's super annoying to deal with. But it was annoying sometimes, it was fun other times. But anyways, point being, it's like, play the matchup, learn from your opponent, right? And when it comes to playing the mirror match, you know, don't challenge people to a mirror match because you try to, like, demoralize them or something like that, right? Because, you know, we have Carol over here, you know, as a woman, she was saying that, like, certain men would be like, oh, you're a woman? Okay. Play me in the mirror match. It's not even my main. Play me in my mirror match, right? Like, what kind of masculinity do you not have, right? What kind of ego, should I say, do you have to go to this extent, right? Like, I just feel like I need to include this. Don't be that person. Don't have your head so far up your ass that you're like, oh, a woman is playing fighting games? I better go play her with her character. Like, no, like, just have fun. But don't be an idiot, all right? But anyways, back to the subject at hand, was like, perfect example of, like, the highest level of the mirror match is Goichi and Fenrich in season 1 of Dragon Ball, right? Like, if I could find when the match starts. Okay, yeah, so Cell's dead, whatever. Point being is that you have two of, like, the highest level players in this game, right? They played the same team in season 1, which is scary, right? Like, the two of the best players in the world, right? Top 1, top 2, top 3, 4, whatever you want to put them, playing the same team. You can't imagine the amount of sleepovers these two had, the amount of texts they sent back and forth between each other because they played the same team. The absolute amount of tech that they developed between the two of them and whoever else they played, right? And especially in a team-based game where it's not, you know, just one character, but it's up to 2 or 3 characters that you can help develop, especially in the mirror match, is like, look at this, boom, double super, right? Like, I gotta imagine one of them figured this out, told the other one, then they're like, brain blast Jimmy Neutron type of shit, right? Like, the things they picked up off of each other that they just bounced back and forth as they played the same team, it's just, it's what you need, right? Like, even if you don't like the mirror match, the things you can learn from it, and things you didn't know that you could do, what you can learn, it's irreplaceable in this kind of environment. So even if you don't like it, my point is, you got to play the mirror match. And if you don't play the mirror match, at least observe how other people play your character in the mirror match, right? Be like, okay, well, I don't like to play it myself, but let me see how this goes. Let me see if I can pick something up off of them, right? Or just observe how somebody else plays your character if you don't want to. It's always good to take notes of other people's approach. But anyways, I just want to talk about the mirror match. I think it's probably one of the most important things in fighting games because you can learn things you didn't know, punishes, habits, right? Mix-ups, whatever the case may be. There's so many opportunities for this and so many things that you can pick up off of from someone else's perspective of the character.